Marine Lieutenant George Cannon, flinched instinctively as a barrage of shells erupted, short of the sandy beach with a violent roar, sending columns of water and sand soaring into the air. Before Cannon could settle himself, the next volley landed inland a few hundred yards, falling amid a stand of coconut palms. The third struck closer to the wide-eyed Marines hunkered down in their command post on Sand Island, Midway Atoll, at the far western edge of the Hawaiian Islands chain. Cannons searched their faces in the dim light. Though none of them had ever been under enemy fire before, they showed no fear. The young lieutenant was proud of his men. They all felt safe behind the thick walls of the concrete building and hoped the next salvo would land beyond them. They gripped the deck as they heard another roar from the heavy guns. News of the Japanese sneak attack at Pearl Harbor had reached the Marine Corps' 6th Defense Battalion at 0630 local time, 0900 Honolulu time on December 7, 1941. A short while later, an official dispatch from the Hawaii-based 14th Naval District confirmed the disastrous attack. The dispatch also ordered the garrison to go to general quarters and activate their war plans. Within minutes, the Marines scrambled to their gun positions around the island. Among them was Cannon, a platoon leader in Battery H.50 caliber anti-aircraft machine gun, who set up his command post in a small room in the power plant building. 3 enlisted men, Platoon Sergeant William A. Barber, Communications Chief Corporal Harold R. Hazelwood, and a runner, assisted him.
He was born in Webster Groves, Missouri, on November 5, 1915, living there until his father died in 1931, and the family relocated to Detroit. He graduated high school in 1932, then attended Culver Military Academy in Indiana. Before entering the University of Michigan, he graduated in June 1938 with a degree in mechanical engineering. He joined the Marine Corps, then attended officer candidate training at the Philadelphia Navy Yard. He was commissioned as a second lieutenant in May 1939 and joined the Marine Detachment aboard the light cruiser USS Boise. In December 1940, he took command of a platoon in the 2nd Defense Battalion, which was then in training at the Marine base in San Diego, California. 3 months later, orders sent him to the 6th Defense Battalion DB at Pearl Harbor. Cannon and the 6th DB arrived on Sand Island on September 11, 1941, after months of training in San Diego and Hawaii. It was one of 8 such units formed in the late 1930s in response to Japan's aggressive invasion of China, when it became obvious that Wake Island, Midway and Johnston Island, as well as the Navy's main anchorage at Pearl Harbor, needed increased security. While the Army provided troops to guard the distant Philippines, these mid-Pacific Ocean locations also required protection, leading to a mission that was unusual for the Marine Corps. As early as 1937, the Marine Corps was discussing the activation of battalion-sized detachments just for that purpose. Marine Corps Commandant Maj. General Thomas Holcomb recognized that Congress, given the isolationist fervor gripping the country, would not approve funding for offensive purposes. However, money might be available to fund defensive battalions, to protect American interests abroad and allow an expansion of the Marine Corps beyond its 1939 strength of just over 19,000 officers and men. Each of the new 900-man defense battalions would have 3 anti-aircraft gun batteries, 3 seacoast batteries, ground and anti-aircraft machine gun batteries, as well as administrative and weapons maintenance specialists. Midway's strategic position, on 137 miles northwest of Oahu, had been recognized as early as 1867, when Navy Secretary Gideon Welles authorized funds to survey the area. In 1903, a communications cable company established a station on Sand Island. By June 1935, Pan American Airways had a commercial seaplane base on Sand Island. The first Marines to land on Sand Island, on May 31, 1940, were a small survey party from the 3rd DB. In September, a work party of 9 officers and 168 enlisted men landed to begin the construction of defensive positions. A naval air station was authorized for Midway in early 1941 and construction of support facilities on both islands, as well as a landing strip on Eastern to complement the existing runways on sand. In the meantime, the balance of the 3rd DB was ordered to Midway. On February 14, 1941, the remaining 28 officers and 565 enlisted men of that battalion came ashore on Midway. At the same time, Cannon and the rest of the 6th DB, then in training in San Diego, received orders to move to Hawaii. There, the unit would continue its training and serve as a rotational pool of replacements for the Marine garrison on Midway and those soon to come to Wake and Johnston Islands. The need for manpower to build and fortify the base on Midway continued unabated during the spring and summer of 1941. The backbreaking work of the young Marines and the contractors paid off when Naval Air Station Midway was commissioned on August 1, 1941. The new air station would soon be home to a squadron of consolidated PBY Catalina, flying boat patrol aircraft and a Marine scout bombing squadron.